Well, Jessica, I am excited because we're going to be doing book reviews, but I have to admit something, okay? I do not write book reviews. I read a lot of books, but I don't write them. I just don't feel like I'm good at writing them, and I don't know, it makes me nervous, like putting my thoughts out into the world, you know? So this is kind of the first, like, even though it's not written, book review, that I'll be doing. Um, so it's some exciting stuff for me.
You would think with how many book clubs you run and how many books you read, that if anybody would review books and give their honest opinion, it would be you. So I'm kind of surprised that you don't write book
Yeah,
reviews.
I think that I have a short attention span. So as many of my members know, when I read for the book clubs, I read day of. So that things are fresh, because if I read too early, all my thoughts are gone. And I think that's what happens. I read a book, I enjoy it, and then when it gets down to like, oh, let's do a book review or let's think about it, it's like all those dots are gone. And my brain's already on to the next book. So maybe I need to like be a little more patient with jumping into something else. But yeah, I mean, with all the discussions we have, I definitely do have thoughts. Um, yeah, so I'm excited to share my thoughts for the first time on here.
That's
Yeah.
exciting. So what book are you going to share with us first?
Okay, so we just, as we're recording, just finished, a couple rounds of a book club. So the first one that we finished this week was for my romantic suspense book club, and it's called Girl Lost by Kate Angelo. And I'm excited to say that it was an amazing book. We really loved it. Um, Basically, that's the other thing about reviews is like, okay, I don't want
No
spoilers, right? You're
spoilers.
like, ah.
This might be the
So
book you recommend to me, going back to one of our
maybe,
previous podcasts.
yeah,
Okay, so no
it's
spoilers. What did you like
no
about the book?
spoilers. Yeah. I mean, it was just it's, romantic suspense. It had that like kind of on your seat, like what do you expect? There's definitely, different aspects of it that I wasn't expecting to happen. Some books,
Good.
you're like, oh, I can predict what's going to happen, and this one didn't. This one just really changed it up throughout the book. It was well written. There was in the middle part, there was something that was a little bit more, heart wrenching for me. You know how I am with suspense and mystery. Um, it was kind of unexpected, but it was still good, right? It still kept you wanting to like read more. And it was just overall good. I will say though that the
Oh, okay.
ending, I will say, those books where there are series, but there's not really cliffhangers. It usually goes like the main characters, and then the next book is the story from the secondary characters that were in the first book.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they're connected, but there isn't like a cliffhanger. Like the story ends, like the whole story
Yeah.
wraps up. So this is one of them. And we knew that going into it that this was a series, that type. But the ending, even though the story wrapped up, the ending still left with a cliffhanger type thing. And
No.
I don't want to say too much more because I'm afraid I will give it away. But everyone in book club was like, oh no. And the second book is not out, and there's no dates. There's no like dates for when it will come out.
Oh,
Um,
no.
and so now we're all
I'll be
like,
honest.
oh,
If it's a series, I need the series to be finished before I'm willing to read it. Because for that very
yeah.
reason, because I remember reading a book and loving it and finding out that there's going to be a second book, and I waited only to find out the author decided to never continue the series. And I was
Oh, ouch.
heartbroken because
Yeah.
and it was like a legit series. It wasn't where something wrapped up. It was going to be a continuation over a course of 3 or 4
Oh,
books. So I'll never know how that story is going to end.
yeah.
So from that point, I was like,
Oh,
nope, The series must be finished before I ever start the first book.
Yeah. Yeah, those type of series, the ones where there's like, there's some type of cliffhanger, there's, you have to read to finish the overall story. I don't read those unless they're all out. But this one was a little bit different. It's like, okay, you can wait a little bit for me. And yeah, I just didn't know. It was kind of one of those things like if I
Oh,
had
sorry.
known, I don't know if we would have read it, but otherwise, I mean, at the same time, I, told my, the lovely ladies in my group that it was still a really good book to be able to discuss with all of them, right? All
Yeah.
the guessing, like, who is it? They're looking for a missing girl. Where is she? You know, um, how is the two main characters' relationship gonna work out? All the things, and so, yeah, the ending was a little bummer, but the journey to it was really fun. So, yeah, I
That's
really enjoyed it.
great.
I
All
definitely
right. Well,
recommend, but
that gives you
if
a
you're
chance to read the
hesitant,
next book when it comes out, because it'll
whenever
have
it
been so
comes out,
long. You can put that in book club and you guys can continue on the story.
there's no date. There's not even a date of when it's coming out, so that's the one bummer.
I mean, that could
Uh,
change at any time though. So
yeah.
I'm trying to be your silver lining right now.
Yeah.
So, would you recommend it?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
Yeah, such a good book. Alright, you got a book too. You got 2
I
books.
d-
What's
I
your
do have 2 books. Yes. But I'll do the first one right now. Now that we're on the topic of fiction, my classical literature book, we just finished a fiction novel, Pilgrim's Progress by John Bunyan. And I honestly don't know what I thought going into the book because I've read many apologetics books that reference Paul Bunyan quite a bit in his works in Pilgrim's Progress. So I figured it's time to read it. Like, I've heard so much about it, but I legit knew nothing about the book going into it. And it is perhaps one of my most favorite books of all time at this point. I didn't do the original like writing because the book was written in the 1700s, so I wrote an easier read, if you will. And Christine will put the description of which book we read in book club for Pilgrim's Progress. What I
Hmm.
absolutely loved is how every chapter and every step of the way you could see yourself in one of the characters mentioned, either in the main character, Christian, in his journey of from not knowing Christ to coming to know Christ to walking with Christ until the end of his life. You go through the whole journey with him, and through that journey, you encounter multiple different characters. And as a group, there really wasn't any guessing what's going to happen next. We were so enthralled with the journey that he was on and talking about how his journey applied to our lives, even today, 300 years after the book was written. And you can see yourself in these various characters or see people around you. There were times, this is
Mm.
what I love about book club. There are times we came across certain sections where someone in the group was sitting here, I'm not sure I understand what this person represents. And another person in the group would be like, I know exactly what they're talking about because I have someone in my life just like this. And we talk about it, and it's like light bulbs going off in different sections and how it relates and what the author is trying to convey to you. And it was one of the most phenomenal books I have ever read in my life. And this is definitely the book that when my daughter gets old enough, we're going to read together because it so aptly describes the Christian life. And not just in the trials and tribulations that we face. And I appreciate that John Bunyan does not pull any punches. He tells you the Christian life is difficult. It's not going to be all rose bushes and rainbows and flowers. Like you're going to hit those thorns in the rose bush, you know? Um, but he so clearly lays out the gospel multiple times to multiple people in the book because you come across different characters and the characters' personalities, like their names describe who they are and what their personality is, and how he clearly presents the gospel to each one, but in a way that relates to them. It's
Mm.
so incredibly beautiful. So I genuinely cannot recommend the book enough, and to read it with a group, because like I said, there are going to be parts that you may come across and you don't understand, but someone else might, because they have a different experience in life and may know what the author is talking about. So it was phenomenal. I loved it. It was so good.
It's a must read.
100% must read. Yes. I mean, find a version. People complained about the original language because it's apparently
Mm.
very, very difficult to read. I don't know that I'll ever give it a try. I don't know if I have the brain capacity for it. But the version that we read, top
Mhm.
notch. It
The
was
modern
it was
version,
amazing.
yeah.
The modern version, yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely link the modern version in the description. Um,
Thank you. So
I'll
that
link all the
that
books
was
we talk about.
yeah, so that was each of ours first round with one book club, but we each have another book that we
Yes,
could
I
review and talk about. But it looks like we are close to time on this episode. So what we could do, spoiler alert, next episode, no, I'm just kidding. We're going to leave you on a cliffhanger is what we're going to do about the next two books, which are, what did you read for your other book club that you just finished?
Wistress by Nadine, and I forgot the last name.
That's okay. Because it'll be in the next podcast and you'll have the last name and the description. And mine was my apologetics book club. We just finished What Does God Want by Michael Heiser. So the answer to that question will be revealed in the next podcast because it's an apologetics book. So there's no spoilers. I can't spoil a book for you when he's going to tell you the answer in the first page. Um, so yeah, we appreciate you listening to our very first book reviews on most recent book clubs, and the next podcast that'll come will bring you to more book reviews, and hopefully we'll see you guys soon. Bye everyone.